Almost everyone has heard the legendary story of Robert Johnson in the Crossroads. How he met the devil there one dark night and sold his soul in exchange for guitar playing skills like no one before or since. Ideally did not suit him, for Robert was to die before he could reap any of the fame, fortune, or other benefits of being the king of the Delta Blues. For years, guitarists, historians, fans, and occultists alike have all searched for the mythical place where this has occurred. The deed is commemorated at the crossing of U.S. Routes 61 and 49, just outside the city of Clarksdale, Mississippi, in fact. There's a huge marquee, complete with guitars and war mules and tons of traffic. This is a very commercialized site, where the casual tourist can even stop in for a wonderful photo op if he so well chooses. True researchers and fans of the blues all know better, though. The actual crossroads where Mr. Johnson made his deal in the early 1930s would have been off the beaten path. It would have been on some back road near the river or in the deep dark woods of Mississippi. The following audio interview was discovered in an old box of tapes and sheet music purchased at a garage sale in Meridian, Mississippi. It was made sometime in the early to mid-1980s. It is of a local Beulah, Mississippi resident named Henry Goodman. Mr. Goodman was an old black man in his 70s at the time of the taping. He was an acquaintance of Robert Johnson and recounts a story that was told to him by Robert Johnson in 36 or 37 while they shared a pint of whiskey outside the Beulah store. The following is that interview.
Yeah, I know the boy, Robert Johnson. Back a long time ago, me and him were partners, yeah. We used to run together when he was in town. I called him RJ. Lots of other folks called him, Robert, and women folks called him Robert Leroy, and after he got a little bit of famous, some folks started calling him Mr. Robert. That was mostly after he done passed, though. Yeah, I remember that story about Robert, and the devil at the crossroads, and he told me that story himself. He told me all about it one night when we was having us a bottle of liquor there. But he told me he was coming back from down near Yazoo City, playing down there at a place, and old Funhouse done run him off, told him he was making too much racket on the guitar. Wanted him to play his juice harp, his harmonica. But Robert didn't want none of that. He wanted to play guitar. That's what Robert always wanted to do. He always wanted to be a guitar player, like Peter Wheatstraw or Funhouse, and some of them folks he looked up to. But Robert said it was around about October. It was a cool night, and he said he was walking, and his ride done left him out by the levee. And so he was walking up the road there, walking up toward Beulah, from Yazoo City, and done been walking on the road, and it was a real dark night because of the clouds. It was a full moon, but the clouds were getting in front of the moon and make it real dark. And he's walking up the road with his guitar on his shoulder, heading up to Helena. That's where he'd be staying at with a woman up near Helena. And he walking up the road, and he said he was getting a little worried because he had heard some footsteps off out in the ditch, on the bar ditch there side of the road. And he come to figure out it was some kind of dog or something, because he heard it growling a few times and snarling, and a little while later it'd fall behind him a little bit, and it'd bark, and it'd roll around in the ditch. It's kind of some kind of like crazy dog, like somebody done poisoned it or something. He said he even thought they'd seen its eyes glowing, but it was just the way the moonlight hit it when the cloud parted. But he's walking up that road, and this all happened out there near Dockery Farm, Dockery Plantation. And he come upon a crossroad. And as he come up on the crossroad, he's keeping his eye on that dog over in that ditch that's been following him. And next thing he know, he said he seen this big old barrel-chested man out in the road, a big old black man, black as a pitch of night. And the man knew him by name. He said, "Robert Johnson. We've been waiting on you, Robert Johnson." And Robert said, "What you mean you waiting on me?" And he said, I've been waiting right here for you, Robert Johnson. He goes, do you know who I am? I'm here to give you everything you ever wanted, Robert Johnson. Carrying that guitar on your shoulder like that. You can throw that guitar over there in that ditch and be just like all them other guitar players, a dime a dozen. Or you can let me take care of you, and you be the best guitar player anybody ever heard. Your music will last forever, and you will forevermore have a grip on the soul of everybody that ever hears your music. And Robert said, well, that's a pretty good offer you got there, man. What kind of devil man are you anyway, stepping up out the black like that, looking all black as coal? And he said, that's exactly what I am, Robert Johnson. He goes, I'm here to make you an offer. He goes, but you need to look at where you is. You're on a road, about to take one more step, you be in Rosedale. You walk off on that road to the right, you be in Cleveland, somewhere out on Highway 61. Turn around, going back to Beulah. You can go left and set up on the levee and look at the river roll by. But you take one more step in this here direction toward Rosedale, you're going to be at the Crossroads at midnight under the full moon in Rosedale, Mississippi. And that dog commenced to howling over in the ditch, making all kind of noises. And it struck Robert, struck him hard. He said he felt it come up through his feet, all the way up through his fingertips, up his spine. And it settled right under his breastbone, right where his heart is, right above his gut. And that's where the blues live. Robert knew that's where the blues lived, because he done lived the blues. And he knew that feeling, and he heard that dog. And that dog was barking and howling and patting its tail, making some kind of rhythm. The strings on Robert's guitar started to vibrate, and he felt something deep inside, and he knew that this man wasn't playing around. He knew this was the real thing. And the man told him if he took one more step into Rosedale, that was going to be it. Robert Johnson, I will forevermore have my hand wrapped around your soul if you proceed down this road into the blues. That sound that dog got over there, it ain't for sale. That sound belonged to me. That's my sound. That's the blues. Boy, you can have that sound if you want it. But there's consequences. There's consequences, all right, Robert Johnson. You owe me your soul. Forevermore your soul. Well, Robert thought about it long and hard, and he tilted his head back, felt the pain in that bad right eye of his. He said, step out my way, devil man. I'm going into Rosedale. I'm Robert Johnson, and I am the blues. So Robert walked on down the road, and the devil man said, go, Robert Johnson, king of the Delta Blues. You go on up there now. You going up to Rosedale, and you better get you something good to eat. Get you a big old plate of hot tamales. You're going to need something on your stomach. Where you going, boy? You're going to need something on your stomach. Where you going, boy? Your soul belonged to me, Robert Johnson. And that's the story Robert told. Wasn't no tuning of a guitar. Wasn't nothing like that. Wasn't no signing. Robert asked him where to sign. He said he didn't have no pencil. He didn't need to sign nothing. All he needed was Robert's word and him to walk on into Rosedale on midnight under that full moon through them crossroads. And that's what Robert did. And that road's still out there on Dockery Plantation, old Highway 8 and Highway 1. It ain't out there where them commercial folks says it is, out on the Blues Highway in the middle of the city in Clarksdale. Ain't no place, ain't no devil gonna put no crossroad up right there where nothing gonna happen. But it's out there. I can take you to it. I don't know if you want to go. I ain't going to no midnight under no damn full moon. I can tell you that right now. But I can take you out there. It's still there. You can find it. Out on Dockery Plantation. Just 4 or 5 miles from here. That's the story Robert told me. You can take it or leave it. Believe it or don't make no damn difference to me. I just know that's what he said. I know it wasn't no time later, maybe a year or two. Robert crawling around, howling, barking like a dog himself. And then he dead, next thing you know. They say he done got poisoned. That was old Scratch coming to collect Robert's soul. That's what that was. Them hellhounds hounded him down that dirt road, chased him up to Chicago, Detroit, over into Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana. They let him be. They chased him down to